We have Gary Richard Arnold here, and we had an interesting little twist here. Gary did some interesting research, and actually, when you go to his website page, which I have, it shows news-expose.org, and of course, we have the whistleblower. That's the initial, not a whistleblower. We wouldn't call him whistleblower. We would call him an attack agent trying to start off the coup against Donald Trump regarding his conversation with the comedian who actually now took over from the previous maniac put by our State Department in power in Ukraine. Of course, and Ukraine is intimately part of the attack by the demon rats and Hillary Rodham Clinton and her Draco reptilian entity that avatars her like a video game. Because, of course, her family are wizards going back to the Rodhams. And this guy, Eric Sierra Camela, is the monster who actually started this. He didn't even listen to the conversation. He got access to a few pieces of paper and tried to say that the conversation that he was trying to do, quid pro quo. Well, guess what? If you actually go through senators and congressmen and presidents, everybody wants to know what the country's doing, including illegal stuff, before we start giving them money, our money, out of our taxpayers' pockets and backbones. So this is amazing. And to be honest with you, I am so disgusted with the Democrats. They shouldn't be regulating anything except maybe weeds in their backyard. When I listen to Nancy Pelosi trying to talk about high and mighty and this liar, the liars like, Adam Schiff, and the last two letters of his name need to be changed from FF to TT, and Rattler, I call him, like a rattlesnake, this guy Nadler. It's so disgusting, it's like hard to think that, are these my fellow Americans? Do they believe in the rule of law or even evidential rules or proper due process? No. And I'm like half a lawyer because I'm a medical legal expert in every specialty and I've worked in medical law for decades. What I see happening is disgusting. And this guy, Eric Sierra Mella, when I went to the site links that you have there, Gary, it says, you do not have permission. I don't know why. I mean, whatever you sent, and you sent two different ways, you do not have permission, Deagle. Who do you think you are? You're not going to look at these documents. We're not going to let you. It says, of course, it's the Atlantic Council and a nexus of globalists are behind the coup d'etat. America need to prevent the planned revolution. Of course, this is what's going on here now. And I honestly think that the Barr and Durham reports are going to come out on Hillary Rodham Clinton, and she needs to be wearing an orange jumpsuit and not get day passes or book tours like she is with her daughter. But these damn Democrats should be in prison or executed. In fact, this is such high crimes, I think, honestly, they need to have a military tribunal. This is that bad because they put the nation in danger. They're not dealing with things like drug prices, health care, open borders, or even a potential nuclear attack by Russia because we're so distracted with garbage over so-called a coup against Donald Trump. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Schiff has three people, three former aides from the NSC in Camarillo. Caramilla is a holdover, and he was promoted by General R.H. McMaster, who's in tight with the Carnegie Foundation. And his other aide, it shows I've got a document signed 9/13/2019 with this other little wimp, Thomas Edgar. And this Thomas Edgar is shown trolling Trump. He's sitting about 3 or 4 feet behind him at a particular event, and you see Trump slap, and you see his wife and some other people. But these guys are literally trolling them, and you find that there are something like 19 people that are interns or Atlantic Union fellows.
Well, I'll tell you, if I was advising Trump, I would have not allowed this crazy vote to occur today. And by the way, it wasn't bilateral, we'd bipartisan. Nancy Pelosi and there were even 2 Democrats are in these seats that were won. There were 31 seats won during the 2018 election because they held over Muellergate and the Mueller report, which Mueller didn't even know about. And that's why then Nancy Pelosi became the House Speaker again. She's nuts. She's disgusting. She's not only a third-rate politician, she's not even a decent human being. And I happen to know from good evidence that she's involved with Pettigate and Pizzagate and all the pedophilia and other crap. This lady is a witch. She's evil, just like Hillary Clinton. And what people have to start understanding is some of our politicians are so bad they shouldn't be regulating anything, not even their bowels, let alone trying to be our politicians and try to regulate us through laws and the due process of law. They're not interested. They just want power. They're not interested in serving the people. They want to serve us up like we're a dinner. That's what they want to do, right?
Certainly. While you're talking, I'm trying to make.
I want you to resend those documents so I can open them, because whatever you did or whatever the people are doing to your sites so that you can't open it, either way you sent them, it says I have to apply for permission to see the document. So I don't know what site you're using for putting your things up, but that's bizarre. Who is your template for news-expose? What's the company?
That's Google, and it goes through Squarespace. Right now, I just made a
Google.
PDF.
I call it Godgle. I've taken one of the G's and turned it to a D. I call it Godgle, Godgle, right?
Let me see if I got this one here. It'll be interesting. I put it under.
Yeah, you might get it on the next break, because now I'd rather hear talk to you rather than trying to have you playing with documents. So, Gary, let's go to Sierra Carmela. Who the hell is this guy, and what's the story behind him? What secret orders is he involved with? What's his past history? Is he involved with some kind of satanic Luciferic cult or secret order? What's his past history? What's the history of this monster?
Well, he's been. What I've got here, I've got a picture of him standing right next to. It's a picture of 6 people, but he's at the right-hand side of Brennan. And, John Brennan's the one who voted for Gus Hall and Angela Davis. And Angela Davis was just given the key to the city by Leon Panetta's campaign manager, Don Lane.
Right.
This guy was also, it says the deep state surrounding this. He was at a dinner that included Kerry, Biden, Jarrett, and Loretta Lynch back in 2016. So these are all the culprits. And he's really tight with Victoria Nuland. So Victoria Nuland is the wife of Robert Kagan, and it was his father,
she in the State
Donald
Department?
Kagan, his brother, Robert, and Victoria had put together the NEPAC, the Project for a New American Century.
Okay, that makes sense. Wasn't she also involved with Ukraine and putting in the previous guy?
She was out there giving food to the rebels.
And also she was there trying to make sure they engineered to get Poroshenko in the power. They called him the Chocolate King. No, he wasn't the Chocolate King. He was a pedophile king, the prostitute king, the drug king of Ukraine. This guy's a billionaire, and he's a mega criminal. He's like a mafioso don.
Well, this Eric Ciaramella was promoted to acting senior director for European and Russian affairs. And, of course, under Obama, that's when Russia took over Crimea, and that's when the Ukraine was denied the weapons. It was actually Trump who delivered the defensive weapons to the Ukraine because after the Soviet Union fell, we promised if they gave up their nukes that we would protect them. And, of course, Obama did the exact opposite.
Yeah, Obama's a monster,
all the information out there is a lie.
Did you hear the latest from, I think it was Brennan, who said, well, don't blame us. We took orders from Obama. We came just a few days ago. So Obama's on the crosshairs now, this son of a whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be in a lot of trouble, Mr. Obama. And even as far as he's a nutball, the left has gone so far in the Democratic Party, he would not even be elected now by these Democrats or even be nominated. Because
the other document I've got in here, which is why they don't want it to get to you, it's signed by Adam Schiff, and it says, I certify that the information contained on this form is true, complete, and correct to the best of my knowledge.
Right.
The signature of the traveler is Thomas Eger. Now, Thomas Eger is one of the 19 fellows of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Congressional Fellowship, a globalist program that educates congressional staff on current events in the Eurasia region. So you've got 19 of these guys on various congressmen's staff working this coup d'etat. And this was as recent as 9/13/2019. So this was when the Russiagate fell apart. They needed to, have this so-called whistleblower. And then when Trump released the actual contents of the conversation to the president of the Ukraine, there was no quid pro quo or anything else. And so everything is made out of whole cloth. Everything they say is the exact opposite. And I think people need to be fear a revolution or prepare to do a counter coup, because I believe that's, I believe they're.
Well, if I was
they're in the
advising
race
Trump,
right
I would
now.
immediately declare a state of national emergency and put Nancy Pelosi and all those maniacs in jail.
No,
I would
he doesn't
immediately,
need to do
I would
this
immediately
because
put a
this
stop
is
to all
active
this. I close
treason.
down the
This is
media.
treason.
Let me finish. I would immediately close down Washington Post, MSLSD, and CNN. These would all be gone. And any media who were trying to do a coup would go to jail, and their journalists would never be journaling again in America. Maybe in Venezuela or some third world banana republic. But we got to stop this stuff because, you see, the real business of America is not getting done. Trump wants to control drug and car prices. He wants to fix the border. He wants trade treaties with Russia and China. He wants to get rid of their nukes in the South China Sea and Venezuela and in Nicaragua. We can't do any of these things because Nancy and her crowd are totally fixated on the idea of not only reversing the 2016 election, they want to take over in 2020. And if they do, it's the end of America. And if they come to my door and try to take my guns, they're going to get a hell of a shock. And lots of other millions of Americans aren't going to put up with it. And I know if any of these police are stupid enough to see if they're going to start stripping the guns from ex-veterans armed to the teeth with their former military weapons and 4 or 5 tours of duty, I think we have a suicidally, demonically energized, crazy crowd that are mainly Democrats, a few Republicans like, Mitt Romney and this other guy that's a Muslim as part of CARE, that's a Republican, supposedly was a Republican, he's quit. But we have a heck of a mess. And if the demon rats get in power, it's the end of America. It's the end. We'll have a civil war, won't we?
Yeah, no, we're in one, and we're not fighting.
Well,
back.
it'll get into a hot one. It'll get into a blood-spilling civil war. It'll be where they try to send special forces and police at the population, and the first few people they'll get, and after that, we're going to have a lot of dead special forces. They're going to die trying to do what they're doing. They're not going to make it, okay, because there's too many of us, and we're clever, and we're going to use exotic weapons if we have to against the buggers, because they're not going to get away with it. And if these politicians think that they can pass legislation and do other stuff that'll subjugate us, they're delusional. It's not going to happen. We're Americans. We're the toughest people on earth in human history. We're not going to put up with it. Even Canadians didn't. That's why they had to nullify the law they did to register your guns in Canada. Canadians didn't put up with it. So the Conservative government before this idiot Justin Trudeau took over, and by the way, he's literally now been castrated, so he can't do a damn thing. He's a minority government. Hopefully we'll get rid of the fool. He's an idiot. He really is dangerous, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, the other interesting thing is all of these people that are involved. You look at Obama, they got the Global Citizen Award from the Atlantic Council. Biden
Right.
got the Global Citizen Award. Kissinger did. Hillary Clinton did. You can go one after another. These are all people involved in this conspiracy. It's an international conspiracy. It's not just centered in Washington. They've used both the Commonwealth out of Australia, and the MI5 guy Steele out of England. So this is not kept alone at all. In fact, there's a hierarchy of the that's a little bit more sophisticated than the Atlantic Council. The Atlantic Council is like your lieutenants and sergeants and other people doing the operations and selling propaganda. The heavy-duty one is the Pilgrim Society.
See if you can get those documents over to me so they won't. I can actually see them because I don't want permission to see. I wanted to see them. How's that?
That's right.
All right. We'll see you in a minute. If you think we're going to hold back on the truth here, people, you got the wrong channel. We're going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Do you have have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great-tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great-tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Legacy Emergency Foods is the top recommendation from Dr. Bill Deagle for the lowest oxygen concentration, the largest entrees, the highest amount of protein, the most varied entrees as well, and the longest food storage life. Nothing like Legacy Emergency Foods, and if you place a regular monthly order, you get 20% off and free shipping. Do get Emergency Foods for your supply for preparation, and get it from Legacy Foods. Contact Dr. Bill Deagle for the link at NutriMedical.com. Go to the Shop by Products link and drop-down message at NutriMedical.com, and then place your orders for regular emergency food for yourself and your family. Nothing like emergency food if the power goes out and you can't go to grocery stores, or if there's an emergency or a national crisis. So NutriMedical.com, top recommendation, Legacy Foods. NutriMedical.com, go to the Shop by Products and drop-down menu, and stay well with NutriMedical every day of your life. Lumen Photon Therapy, infrared light, far and near infrared, is extremely important for pain control, stimulation of nitric oxide, improved perfusion, and stem cell activation and reduction of cytokines. Dr. Bill uses it for pain control, for regeneration techniques, for organ regeneration, and for stimulation of your stem cell activity. This amazing Lumen Photon Therapy this year will probably have an additional device with frequency therapy during the on phase of the lights. To obtain a Lumen Photon machine, contact Dr. Bill at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. He'll prescribe it with you providing nutraceuticals to help with your regeneration, healing, and pain control. Nothing like the Lumen Photon Therapy for easy therapy for your eyes, your pain, your joints, regeneration of organs, detoxification of the body. Get a Lumen Photon machine from Dr. Bill Deagle, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. To stay well with NutriMedical. The Sonic Life Machine is one of the most amazing therapies that Dr. Bill provides. It is the best sine wave exercise machine on the planet, doing whole body vibration, opening up the muscle to reduce insulin resistance, improve perfusion, release stem cell therapies throughout the body, and epigenetically stimulate the body to release DNA activated. The epigenetic therapy with the sine wave curve of frequencies given for atomic resonance by Linus Pauling for minerals and amino acids stimulates the production of messenger RNA to correct structural protein enzyme deficiency for almost every illness. There's nothing like the sine wave therapy for improving body healing for exercise, but also the epigenetic treatments Dr. Bill can provide can help neutralize frequencies for disease states and illness. Get a Sonic Life machine through Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com. Contact us at NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871, or go to the website NutriMedical and give us a contact. Dr. Bill is available to help you get well with NutriMedical.
Need a powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens? Allicin Med is the powerful universal pathogen killer's latest advance of German-sourced allicin, enzymatically stabilized to clear the body of bacteria, fungi, mycobacteria, and parasites. It penetrates body biofilms and is non-toxic to tissues. Pathogen resistance cannot develop for long-term body-optimized wellness. Clear stealth pathogens that promote autoimmune disease, cancer, and vascular inflammation and plaque and promote healing of tissues. Now pathogen-free. With 200 milligrams more power than prior Alamed, you can't get a more powerful ally to fight daily bugs and serious pathogens. Give your body what it needs. Allicin Med. Order Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutridyne at 888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. That's 1-888-212-8871 or NutriMedical.com. And listen to the NutriMedical Report on the Genesis Radio Network with open lines every weekday. NutriMedical.com, bringing nutrition and medicine together.
welcome back to the show. Yeah, you managed to finally get the data to me when you kind of did it unaltered and didn't send me fancy links and so on. When you look at the ontogeny of some of these monsters that are involved, and they're all involved in secret orders and private organizations, like Eric Swalwell. What a great name! I mean, if you want to name a minion of Satan, his name is Eric Swalwell. He's a minor, the devil underneath the minions of Satan. He's an incubi. I mean, that's what these people are. They're evil. And when we look at even the talk this morning, I was watching Fox News, and I couldn't believe the talk of some of these Democrats trying to smother and slither around like they're slithering politicians. They slither around trying to say things that are completely false and try to pretend there's due process and the proper rule of law and proper evidential rules. These people are disgusting. They should never graduate from law school, and their license, if they had one, be revoked. They should never represent anything except for weeds in their backyard. It's disgusting. And the fact that we tolerate them is our problem. And the fact that Donald Trump tolerates them, he needs to be a lot more aggressive. At this point in time, if I could advise Trump, I would say, declare national emergency, put these buggers in jail, and put them through a military tribunal. Put an end to this. We want representative government. I know, what's going to happen after Trump. We hope that someone will come along that'll actually be a follower. There'll be some Trumpian. Maybe you'll have a Trump council, and Trump can be called and say, what's your advice, Donald?
He's the only one I've ever seen stand up against the steamroller like he has. Virtually everybody else caves.
Well, let's put it this way. If I was elected president, I would be a lot tougher than even Trump.
Yep.
They would shake in their boots if they crossed me like they're crossing Trump. They would be terrified to do the kind of crap they're doing right now. And if they're not terrified, they'd soon be terrified because I do stuff that they would scare the crap out of them. The fact that they're doing the stuff to Trump and he's putting up with it, he shouldn't. And I couldn't believe some of the votes I heard. In fact, the vote is this way, and I saw it on Fox. A majority of people want to have the investigation, but not a majority. A minority basically really don't want the impeachment. I'm thinking, why do you want to have an investigation that's a trumped-up star chamber, and you don't want the impeachment because if you do this, it's going to cause a civil war. You're going to try to reverse the election. Since the moment before he even got inaugurated, they've tried to remove Donald Trump. And it's not because Trump's wonderful. Because, to some extent, he's a little bit aggravating. He's like a WWE manager. He doesn't put up with stuff. He counterpunches. He doesn't go and attack you. But if you attack him, he attacks back. And verbally or whatever, by calling you names or just telling the truth. And, sometimes you could ignore people, like the father of these kids that he got out of China about a year ago. And the father was complaining, well, how come we didn't give him a ride back on Air Force One? I said, no. Because I got him out of China and didn't go spend the next 20 years in prison, they don't get a free ride back in Air Force One. The father went on national news complaining that his kids didn't get a ride back in Air Force One after Trump saved their carcass from dying in a Chinese prison or having their organs ripped out of them if their tissue type came up.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what got Rockefeller, his fourth or fifth heart?
Exactly. Now you got to, and same with Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney's like I think a fourth or fifth heart as well. I mean, these guys are like they're like out of a B movie. Very appropriate for Halloween.
Well, Cheney was the one that had crafted the NAFTA resolution, and he did that at the Heritage Foundation of all places. And the Heritage Foundation is Ezerbet talks about is the biggest scam of all.
Yeah, Charlotte Iserby, right? Yeah, do you know what Dick Cheney's name was in the White House? And he didn't have 5 or 6 people; he had 600 people as a staff. He was actually running the White House. Do you know what Dick Cheney's name was in the White House, and he demanded that the White House staff call him?
Lay it on me.
Prince of Darkness. Like Darth Vader. Do call me Dick Cheney. Call me Prince of Darkness. That's how nuts
Ronald
this guy
Reagan,
is.
who was handled by that secret society member. His vice president was H.W. Bush, who was known as Magog in Skull and Bones. And he was the one that was running. I mean, after all, a lot of the appointees, the ambassador and even the vice president himself, were all members of Skull and Bones. So
I know that. And did you know that George Bush Sr. recruited Saddam Hussein in the Ba'ath Party in Baghdad? Do you know that George Bush Sr. was also recruited bin Laden, who was actually the senior engineer to build the largest air base north of Riyadh, 100 miles outside of Riyadh in the desert, $55 billion. You know that George Bush Sr. declared 10 years to the day the fall of the towers of 9/11? Do you know he ran the government after they attempted suicide of Ronald Reagan? He actually ran the government. It wasn't the president. It wasn't Reagan. Reagan was sick, trying to recover from abdominal wounds from the guy that tried to kill him. It was run by George Bush, even though he only had one term. He was a maniac, okay? And then we had the idiot, George Bush Jr., who, one of his last acts before he left the last year, he actually passed a thing called Presidential Directive 51. They hand over presidential authority to the SAD, the Special Activity Division of the CIA that actually were involved with the cabal that killed John F. Kennedy. Did you know that? SAD. And with Kennedy trying to call their authority back in the early 60s, and they decided, along with the mob and the Mossad, who wanted to have nuclear weapons, and they were ticked off that America wasn't going to give them isotopes. I actually have contacts in the labs in America, I took care of them, worked for them, that knew which labs actually the Israelis stole nuclear material to build their first bombs at Dimona in Israel. Okay, people say, how much do you know, Deagle? I know pretty well everything. How's that?
Well, we go back to the Bay.
By the way, I want to mention something that hasn't been mentioned. Did you know that Baghdadi, his name actually was a canonized Catholic saint 2 centuries ago, and that the guy that we call Baghdadi, that they killed in the back of this cave, with his vest on that blew himself up and 3 children, he was an Israeli actor hired to actually run ISIS for us. We created ISIS. In fact, I have intel agencies sent me selfie pictures of John McInsane taking pictures near a town near Amman, Jordan, where we gave him satellite phones and weapons to ISIS and Al-Qaeda, which we created. Terrorists are us, like not Toys R Us, like the old toy company. We created those maniacs, and when we were cleaning them out of Syria and Iraq, at the last moments, we were actually rescuing their leader rather than killing them and blowing them up. And our troops were freaked out by the fact that we were not killing these maniacs and their leaders. We were flying them out in helicopters to safety. Just in the last year or so, even as we're cleaning up the last few remnants of the buggers. People don't know this stuff. And when I hear Trump kind of celebrating over and over in the news, it's I'm going to nauseated. I'm talking about Baghdadi. Baghdadi was our creation. Same way as bin Laden. Same as Saddam Hussein. These are our creations. Every one of these guys. Right?
Well, if you've got some anti-communists from Cuba listening, and they probably should be, they should have Servando Gonzalez's book, which shows that Fidel Castro was used in order to create, like the Seattle riots we had were in Colombia. When George Marshall was down there, he was trying to create something similar to NATO, but he needed an opposition that would scare the delegates, and it was Castro and his brothers and a few other people down there that were trying to create that scare in order to create that deal. But Castro, he worked in Hollywood. He was married in the United States. He's been to the Council on Foreign Relations. Rockefeller visits the island as the
You're referring to Fidel, who was, by the way, a doctor as well. Fidel Castro was a doctor. Yeah, and all these other things about him, people need to realize all these monsters we created, including, by the way, weaponizing the Soviet Union after World War II with nuclear weapons, giving turret technologies to Bill Clinton in the 1990s to China and Russia.
Know this. I got an email from you, and it's dated today at 1:04, and it says, Dr. Bill Deagle at gmail.com is requesting access to the following document. And they have a little thing down here, open sharing settings. So I'm hitting that, and I see what I sent you, and it says share with others, and I have no idea what this new,
I never sent my email, so these guys at Google knew my email, and when I made a request, it pulled my email out of a database. You got to understand, these people are all knowing. They have a thing called Promise Software, which they developed, and I took care of the employees at the Shreve Air Force Base and the Matrix. I don't know some of this. I know all of it. People don't realize how close and they want to be able to eventually hack into our consciousness so they can actually know what your thoughts are, not just what you buy and sell at Amazon or Vitacost or eBay. They want to know what you're thinking to this moment, and they want to have bidirectional access to your vision, hearing, and your consciousness. People say, oh, no, they don't want to do that. I say, you're an idiot, and you're going to suffer for it.
Okay, I've got, it goes down further. It went from specific people to public on web, anybody with the link, I think I'll hit that one. Access, anyone, no sign-in required can view. That's what I want. Save, okay. Either somebody got to my computer or they did it, remotely.
They did a little job on you to make sure the information to get out, because you see, isn't it wonderful now? You know the history of Halloween. Tell me if you know what Halloween's about.
No, you could review it. I think, it's
okay.
Probably read a long time.
It's called All Hallows Eve, and it's a time when the ancient Druids thought it was the closest between the physical world and the world of the demonic spirits around Earth, called the Druids, okay? And these are disembodied beings. The chief of them are from the star system Alpha Draconis, which are amphibious reptilians. The Asians call them the Naga. The Palestinians and people in the Middle East call them the Dagon, which is why the ancient temple of Dagon, right? Remember that? Remember Nineveh? And remember the prophet swallowed by the whale, Jonah? And he was vomited up on the coast by probably a baleen whale. And then, of course, Nineveh is a big city. It's about 20 by 20 miles with a 60-foot high walls, wide enough to have 3 chariots on the top of the wall. This is a big, big city. And the king there repented because, of course, they were worshiping the god Dagon, which is a amphibious Draco-reptilian. Do you know the Pope's hat, which looks like a fish mouth aimed toward the sky? All of the popes and all of the Vatican are Druids. Did you know that? All the Jesuits are all Druids. They're all worship the Draco-reptilians, the chief of the beings that round our earth and have for eons. Did you know that?
Well, it's interesting is it's called a MITRE because, MIT used their intelligence branch, which is located near, Langley, Virginia, and they call their Operation MITRE. And that operation...
The MITRE actually is a symbol of the open mouth of a Draco-reptilian, amphibious reptilian from the star system Alpha Draconis, which, by the way, all the wizards through the Western world, including the Rodhams, go through a demonic ceremony, and they actually had her daughter go through a ritual killing on an obsidian stone of a little boy when she was a child, about 8 years of age or so that she could be indwelt by a Draco-reptilian, which is why she's been avatared by an alien spirit, disembodied spirit, since she was a child. People need to know that she's been cursed by her own family. People need to know that. They need to know their world leaders are led and controlled. They're people of what's called clay and iron. Okay.
And the other thing they're doing, they're continuing the Georgia Guidestone Protocols. MITRE is the outfit that coordinates the FAA with Homeland Security and the Department of Defense. So no airplane dropping these chemtrails can fly off course without their permission. And you've got people like Wolseley, a couple other ex-CIA people, and also the Russian that's in charge of the largest aluminum production factory in the world.
Right.
In fact, he's one of the oligarchs that's been caught up in the news the last year and a half. I forgot what he was involved in, but all of these people, the multinationals are working together against people of any nationality, any culture, any race.
Let me explain something. Although on the surface level, they're at each other's throats and they're ready to do war and all this other stuff, all the agencies on Earth, including the GRU in Russia, MI5, MI6, Canadian Security Intelligence, Brazilian Security Police, Chinese, the Savat in Iran, everywhere, all these agencies are, number one, occultic, demonic, transdimensional, and exoplanetary, and every single one of them is connected at the top to the Druidic Council of 13 and runs Earth for Lucifer. Every one of them. Okay? They're at the top. It may look like there's a conflict at the lower levels just for our entertainment, but in reality, it's all part of the game, just like the reality of the oppositional powers of geopolitics between the Democrats and Republicans. Even during Trump's reign, although he's doing a lot of good things for the economy, he's racing toward the New World Order with 5G network and other things that are going to lay the groundwork for the Matrix.
Well, he needs to get rid of that Department of Education yesterday, too.
Right. So if you don't understand that, you're going to be fooled by the play in front of you while the actors move forward.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
Red Deer Velvet DR is an amazing new product with a patent to preserve 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones, same as fetal life, where you don't age at all. The state of fetal life allows the 300 biomolecules and 6 hormones produced by the placenta to be supportive of the regeneration of tissues and organs, with maximum apoptosis, changing the tissue and organ structure of a fetus. That's why if fetal surgery is performed, there is no scar. Taking 2 to 3 capsules twice a day with oncomycin, MycoD2, provides an amazing support for regeneration of any tissue and organ in the body, and even advanced stem cell therapy support treatment. Do get NutriMedical's Red Deer Velvet DR from Dr. Bill Deagle at NutriMedical.com, NutriMedical.com, 888-212-8871. Stay well and stay young with NutriMedical. Hi, I'm Dr. Bill Deagle, MD, AAEM, ACAM, A4M, of NutriMedical.com, and a consultant providing email advice free on advanced protocols for your optimized wellness and advanced technologies to heal and regenerate you. You can contact us at NutriMedical.com, that's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. You get free email starter protocols of our top medical-grade nutraceuticals, initial testing, and recommendations for your own primary doctor to do, as well as recommendations to give you an idea of a consultation and a full protocol to try to help you regenerate your tissues, heal naturally without the use of toxic polypharmacy. I can send test kits to you as well anywhere in the world and provide you recommendations for referral of specialty clinics worldwide. So contact me, Dr. Bill Deagle, at NutriMedical.com. That's NutriMedical.com, or 888-212-8871. At NutriMedical.com, we have the most amazing drinks with the best mouthfeel, highest quality bionutrient exposure to your body to heal and regenerate, and the most powerful persistence of nutrients to heal your body dramatically. We have Ageless, which makes you age less, which repairs your DNA, extends your telomeres, etc. We have Life Support that detoxes phase 2 detox pathways, glucuronidation, sulfation, and methylation pathway support. We have Glycemics that blocks the carbohydrate absorption and helps with diabetes or weight loss, and as well helps with people that are trying to build up muscle, using things like our special formulas from Dr. Wolf called Mega Muscles between meals along with Sports Energy Light. We have the amazing Nutri-Complete, the most complete red and greens drink in the world, with the best mouthfeel and flavor. You can often mix it too with Vitamin Mineral Mix, which is our fruit-flavored mixed power of vitamins. Stay well with NutriMedical every day. Go live.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant.
And we have Gary Richard Arnold here. We got lots of pictures. I'm going to post all these up actually so you can see the connections and the whistleblowers and all the lines. This is intolerable. I believe we're already in the spasms of what we call the birth pangs. We have evil. It's I'm going to quote the Bible. It says, "Woe to you, earth, and you see, for the devil and his minions have come down to you. He knows his days of destruction are near." We're seeing, for example, if they succeeded on impeaching Trump, or he dies prematurely because maybe too many Diet Cokes, or he's replaced in 2020 or 2024 by a maniac from the Demon Rats or a rhino Republican like Romney, we're done. And if we get in a conflict with Russia and China, we're going to get nuked, and most Americans are going to die in a thermonuclear flash or a biological weapon. You have to understand, this is not a minor thing. And I'm trying desperately through to get to Donald Trump because Donald Trump is, in many ways, he's a decent person and a well-intentioned person, but the road to destruction is paved with good intentions. He's surrounded by bad people. Some of he's removed, like McMaster is a maniac, and Lightning Bolt, I call Bolton. People that are involved with PNAC, like the previous administration, like Victoria Nuland, who worked with Poroshenko, this criminal that ran Ukraine, which is, by the way, that was the same time they actually worked with the Democrats to actually get the documents and try to see if they can remove Donald Trump even before he got elected. What people need to start grasping here is evil is working at a level that is so beyond the pale of common sense and decency that most people don't believe it. They think it's a conspiracy theory. It's not. Most of it is open documentation, isn't it, Gary?
Yeah, it is. And if you look at some of those pictures, by the way, not only is that little sneak there on the Atlantic Council's Eurasian group, that Thomas Edgar, you see Schiff, granting him this special thing back and forth when Schiff was saying he didn't exactly know who the whistleblower and stuff. Hell, he set the whole damn thing up. But
Right.
other pictures there, you see Joe Biden receiving the Global Citizen Award from the Atlantic Council. Now, who are we trying to protect? Joe Biden and his son in Burisma. And in the other picture, who do we have getting the Global Citizen Award? None other than Henry Kissinger standing together with Hillary Clinton.
Right.
And we can
Right.
go right on and on with all these participants in this coup d'etat. So the Atlantic Union is the Pilgrim Society, NATO, and a whole lot of these other extensions.
And by the way,
German
this guy,
Marshall Fund.
Eric C.R. Kamela, was involved directly with Leon Panetta's campaign manager, wasn't he?
Actually, he was working with, I believe, Biden. The
Yeah.
Campanella, the campaign manager for Leon Panetta was Don Lane, who gave the key to the city of Santa Cruz, which is Panetta's home base, to Angela Davis, who ran as vice president for the Communist Party, who John Brennan voted for. And in that picture at the top of one of the pages, standing right next to John Brennan, is that Eric Claramia.
Boy.
And again, it's just one tight circle, and with Leon Panetta, one CIA member after another that Obama appointed.
What we
one
have is
votes for the communist president, the other gives the Red China,
Gary,
military secrets.
What we have is a fourth branch of non-elected so-called government that believes they're the ruling power in America and the world. And they're enraged that we're causing them any frustration at all, especially Donald Trump, because Donald Trump's not playing the political game. He doesn't accept a salary even as a president. He's doing things to tick off the left and the right version of globalism, isn't he?
Yeah, the other thing, Associated Press is deeply involved. The head of it now used to be head of the Irvine Foundation, which supported Panetta's huge lobby here. But AP, apparently, there's some really good skullduggery on what they've been up to also. But I encourage people to cancel their subscriptions to any of these, even local newspapers that carry columns from the New York Times and AP and so forth. You got to quit that, and if you have to, go ahead to Epoch Times or the American Free Press or the New American. You've got to stop supporting the other side, and that'll cut down on their advertising and funds, and you'll be able to get some news that's different from the pablum with the ground glass in it.
Right. And every one of these people in these secret orders are involved with Luciferic Satanism, aren't they? Everyone.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah. You look at the pedophile rings. You look at Schiff's committee with Ted Lieu and Ed Schiff himself.
And that includes, by the way, Pizzagate, including Nancy Pelosi. She's involved with Pizzagate and pedophilia and ritual human sacrifice. She's a monster.
Right. The other article on my website at news-expose.org, there's a reference to the one-eyed cult, which we talked to a week or so ago about that Greta Thunberg, where her father,
when she covers up her eye, that Greta Thunberg,
and as directors. So she's been groomed like Damien in the movies. It's not her fault. She's just subject to, this satanic abuse.
She's demonstrating the Eye of Horus, which is the same as the Saruman the Magnificent and the giant eye, remember, in the vision there in the Trilogy of the Ring. People have to understand this, don't they?
Right, and at the cut of all the, some of the graphics in there, that at the heads of the pizza is the one eye, and it shows pictures of her and her sister pulling a one eye deal. They can't be more than 6 or 7 years old.
Right.
But they have been groomed.
They've been inculcated since they were little kids, and she's by the way got Asperger's syndrome, which means she has very little frontal lobe inhibitory activity, so she can be trained in Avatar like a video game.
Yeah, no, it's a shame. They're just their
parents are monsters.
They're messing with their minds, and also everybody out there listening. If you got a kid in public schools or attending your local libraries, I'd stop fundraising for your schools. Get off the football
I personally
field
don't believe
and
that kids should be.
See what they're doing to their minds.
I believe that kids should not be in public schools. Should be in charter schools. The parents can teach properly and make sure, even if they're a Christian school, they don't teach garbage, because they're teaching a lot of time even in the church is a works gospel, or they teach phony Christianity. If we were truly Christian in America, abortion wouldn't exist. We would have a proper government that wouldn't have the oppositional Luciferic powers running everything and secret orders running our politicians and our lifetime, if you want to call it, bureaucracy. The lifetime bureaucracy in the Department of Justice and the intel agencies think they're the real government, and the politicians that change every so many years are just a distraction. That's how nervy they are now, isn't it?
Well, these guys are like sophisticated cowboys, moving the herd north to the railroad cars to take them to Chicago to be butchered.
Right.
Even so well-meaning Christians, do the best they can, they end up in one of these, purpose-driven CFR Rick Warren churches, and they don't know that they've been neutralized. And he's pushing the global warming stuff as far as he can, but there is no resistance. He's neutralized the Christians, and the Christians just need to wake up and get back to the Bible or something. They can't go in for these tailored
I'll tell you what they need.
sermons.
They need a guide to the Bible. You know what they need, the guide? They need prophetic and apostolic leadership to know how to match up different parts of the Bible so they can actually make sense of it. Because they're getting taught by pastors that teach them milk.
Well, people have to remember the first Communist Front was, I think, Methodist for Social Action. And the head of the National Council of Churches was John Foster Dulles, who was advocating a one-world government, one world money, a one-world mind. So, it's not our fault. It's our duty to resist and be able to think independently is what we need to do. There's always been tyrants. We've always had to fight evil, but we need to stand up and not groupthink.
Yeah,
I don't want them to follow me. I don't want them to follow you. I want them to get the information they can and start thinking for themselves. But they've got a lot of work ahead of them, and they have a duty to.
I'm very proud of my Christian brother Kanye West. And the fact he tells people to think for themselves, that means they're not just a Trumpian or a Democrat. They actually discern issues. For example, on the thing he's done for international trade and for dealing with things, Trump's good. But Trump's pushing 5G network, genetically modified food, and fracking in Northern California, where he puts hot water down in fault zones where they have hydrothermal areas and causes earthquakes. So Trump is an idiot on some issues.
Yeah, well, look at these people with Joe Biden and Hillary and all these people being a global citizen. I think that should disqualify anybody from being a citizen of the United States or being able to run for president. Hell, they've already committed treason by becoming a global citizen. What's the hell's wrong with the people that they can't see that?
You see the way she even walks. She walks like some kind of a, pre-demented chicken. And she walks with this kind of staccato. I'm thinking, she doesn't want to care about people. She just wants power. And she's just so ravenous to make sure that Trump doesn't get elected. And they've realized and made these statements, including the guy that's from Houston, that's the black Democrat. He said, he's going to get reelected unless we impeach him. They've known this since the man got out there. And now Now they're going to continue this for the next few months, right through probably Christmas. And I guarantee Trump will be using this star chamber court that they've set up as a means to do a campaign even harder in getting. And the main people that you need to worry about are not the Democrats, because they're just stupid. It's the independents and the Republicans. His base isn't going anywhere.
If the Republicans woke
and the
up,
independents are actually totally supporting Trump.
These bastards would be overthrown. In fact, including a lot of the Democrats that have just been sleeping. They're voting Democrat because their fathers.
Well, they're starting to wake up, though. They're realizing that being a Democrat, especially if you're black, is suicidally stupid. And as Kanye West says, you kill our babies, you take away the fathers from the family, you try to tell us what to think and stay on the farm, you want to keep us poor, you want to keep us dependent on the state. And just give us your damn votes, and then they ruin the cities. So if you're a kid and you don't join a gang, you're going to die trying to get back and forth to school. Or living.
Well, it was announced on the radio here in California today that Leon Panetta, Jimmy Panetta, and Governor Newsom are finding quicker ways so that those people working the farms in California, they have an easier way to citizenship, even though they mail out an automatic voter credentials to anybody that applies for an automobile license. I mean, they're doing the vote harvesting. It's as evil as could be. Where's Jimmy Carter, right? Trilateral is appointed by Carter and manipulated just like Ronald Reagan was.
Right. Yeah, where I see this going is I think that they're going to culminate a disaster here between now and Election Day, and it's going to blow up in the face of the Democrats. The Democratic Party, as it now exists, is going to be crushed. We need a third party to come up, or the Democrats to be maybe called Democrats, but completely change, just like Trump's changed the Republican Party. The Republican Party under Trump is not the old Republican Party at all, is it?
Oh, yeah, no, California's totally gone. They're neutralizers. The last guy I had over here in Santa Cruz on KSCO, the so-called conservative, who used to call himself a window-wilkie Republican, said he wishes Mitch McConnell was president instead of Donald Trump. And if you look at Mitch McConnell and his contacts, and with his Chinese wife and all the money they've made from working with the communist government and the communist military over there, I mean, it's as bad as Biden.
Yeah, I know. Mind-boggling. Well, you know what? Guess what? I have a feeling this is now that we've had 100% of the Republicans, including, by the way, that guy, the Amash, did not vote for the impeachment, did he? Amash. 2 Democrats voted against it, and all the other dumb and crappies, I call them, dumb and crappies. All these dumb and crappy Democrats, in their coup attempt, are going to destroy themselves, especially in the states where Donald Trump went from 11 to 30.
Well, we hit it earlier, Doc. We exposed the Ripon Society, Romney with Paul Ryan and his relationship to Skull and Bones. It all ties in. That's why the Republicans are neutralized. And literally most of them are neutered. There's a handful out there, that Freedom Caucus. They should join us, the remaining Republicans, and the rest of them get out.
Well, hopefully the new ones elected will be more Trumpian, and Trump himself will be more Trumpian and start shutting these guys down and putting them in prison and declaring a national emergency. That's what needs to happen.
Which was most important.